and welcome back to Gaming the System. And we are continuing our discussion on the GTS Effect, where we're discussing how our participation in Gaming the Systems podcast has impacted on our perspective on the gaming world and games that we play, and we've just been talking about the industry and gaming fails that we've spotted over the past few years, and then Matt was just talking about one of the successes, and we were just going to have a chat about some of the wins, the industry wins. So does anyone have a burning desire to speak first?
I can go. Yeah,
you go for it,
sure.
Alex. I have, as usual, I have triviality, so just leave me till later.
No worries. So one of my, the one I wrote down, this is the really big flagship games over the last few years have come around to the idea that player choice is actually benefiting everyone, and putting in loads more accessibility options. This obviously isn't okay, we can stop now, let's not bother anymore. It's yes, this is great, can we keep going please, and have it in all games if possible. So the games I'm thinking of are things like The Last of Us 2 and God of War Ragnarok, who have made a real show of highlighting the accessibility features that their games include. And I think it's enabled a lot more gamers within the community to actually play these games, perhaps even for the first time ever, which I think is a massive win. And the fact that they're such large games and have such big platforms with their developers is a really positive thing as well, because it gets the message out that actually, like I said, player choice and better accessibility benefits everybody, not just disabled gamers. So probably quite a personal one to me, but that's probably my biggest win. And can we please keep going with it?
That's awesome.
I wasn't going to say that, but I was thinking about saying that because I've noticed the accessibility options in games so much better now, just so much better. As you say, it just you don't have to be disabled to need better accessibility options in games. I sort of, just in terms of like Jem, you've talked before about your partner's hearing and stuff like that, and sort of like I need subtitles, and I think as well also if you are any type of neurodivergent, there are so many things that you can tweak in a game that can make it just that little bit more palatable and make it just work that little bit better for you. So I think it's fantastic how much the options are getting better. But as you say, don't stop. Keep putting them in all the games.
Yes, please. Yes.
Absolutely. I'm going to come in here, if you don't mind, Caroline. So one of my wins is The Last of Us. Actually, it's the fact that such an awesome game got turned into such an awesome TV series, and Matt and I have done a whole series of talks about it on a sort of episode by episode basis, and every time we were like, oh, we're running out of time, we've got so much to say about each one, and we both took away different things and we both really enjoyed it, and we've both played both the first and second games, and I think that it was good on a lot of levels. Firstly, I think it's pretty much the first computer game that has been turned into a really well acted, well directed, well received TV series. It features Ellie isn't the star of the show, but she is a co-star of the show, and the character is just very complex, got a lot of stuff going on, and very challenging to a lot of gender norms, which is excellent, without it being the focus. It's something that comes up just sort of subtly throughout it. They had a whole episode about gay love between two men, which was just really nice and really well done. And I know a lot of people really appreciated it. And then I think, it's excellent that Bella Ramsey has since come out as non-binary, and I just felt that, and the whole sort of older man thing going on with I've forgotten his name. What's he called, Matt?
Pedro.
Yeah, Pedro Pascal. He he's not he's by no means, unfit, but he's not your, classic buff young, hot guy. And yet he's sort of out there proving that actually what women like, or what some women like is, is a nice guy who knows how to handle himself and can get you across the country in a zombie apocalypse. No, I just felt like it just sort of ticked a load of boxes and did it in a way that didn't shy away from a lot of the diversity that you see in the game. And I was just really pleased with that. And I'm really pleased with the extended impact that has now had on the physical world, and also the potential impact that it will have on the future of those kind of story-based games, and games where you really get kind of down into it. I wanted to say one more thing that it's sort of a pro and it's sort of a go, so like win, it's sort of a loss, is that a group called Circanus, I think, do like a player pulse review, and they came out with some data a few weeks ago which horrifyingly said that 47% of console video game players were female, and 50% of PC video game players are female, and 54% of mobile video game players are female. This is obviously not such news to us, I think, but apparently it was quite big news to a whole heap of men who were very upset and distressed and couldn't quite believe that this was true. And I just want to read you a couple of quotes that I found on this, because one person said, I don't doubt these stats, but I have answered a few of these surveys over the years, and I always say that I'm a girl in them. I play as girl characters most of the time, after all. ... I'm like, okay, you're kind of missing the point of the question, but fair enough. And it's one of those statements, isn't it? I'm not saying that you're wrong, but I think you're wrong. So, and then this next one was, what we need are stats from Xbox or PlayStation where they have the biological sex and hours played. Switch isn't a console. Highly doubt, this is all one person, highly doubt that 50% of gaming PCs are played by women. My guess is that the majority of those 41% of PS5s are owned by single mothers with kids that play. No way in hell that 45% of Xbox consoles are played by women. Wow. Again, single mothers own them.
I'm also very intrigued how the consoles are checking your biological sex. The fact that I really don't. Well, I didn't know they had chromosome patches on the PlayStation. Yeah, I don't know. Wow.
I think so. The reason why that was, so obviously that's a bit of a fail, because clearly there's a lot of people out there who just still feel very threatened by women in the gaming in the gaming market, in the gaming world. But what was the win for me was that I saw it on Girl Gamers, which is on Reddit, which is one of our sort of favorite haunts, and there was so many funny comments in response to it, and it also brought a lot of people out who were sort of saying, no, this is the kind of crap that we see and that we get too often. So one person said that this was Alana Pierce. She's a writer and a host and creator. And she said, to be honest, I argued with one of the men on a panel at IGN about the importance of including more women and people of colour in this kind of programming, and he said he didn't see the point. So it's good that this data is out there, because hopefully those kind of men will start to see the point, and it's also good that there are people like her and others who are challenging this sort of misogynistic thinking. So it was kind of like a win and a fail all at the same time, but I wanted to share it with you guys because I think it kind of really got to the heart of so much of what we talk about on the show.
And it's one of those things, every time something like that happens, it gets men to show their hand.
Yeah.
So normally it's just quiet because it's not talked about. And then this comes up and go, oh, have a look at this. And plenty of men will just go, oh, that's interesting. I wouldn't have thought that. And carry on. And then there are the ones who write like that, and you go, okay, we're going to cross him off the list of people that are worth talking to in any way. The ones who just go, oh, I wouldn't have thought that, and then carry on, they're the ones that you can have conversations with. Alex and Jem, both two massive things. How did I forget the accessibility side? Problem is, it's been a couple of months since I played God of War, and I played it experimenting with a ton of the stuff on that. And especially, probably my favourite thing is the high contrast mode in games, because the one in Last of Us 2, which until God of War came out, was the apex of accessibility features. The high contrast mode in that was really quite patchy and unsophisticated and just a bit blobby. But in the God of War one, it's stunning, the color, how just it's basically they've just made the entire like skin of the character this one color, so it's got all the grooves and subtleties of it. So that's quite apart from being able to, not just allow people to play games for the first time who have never been able to play it before. For people who go, I wouldn't use it, so what's the point? It can enhance everyone's games. Yeah. Idiots. Yeah. And the fact that it's the massive, biggest AAA games that are raising the bar of this is really important.
Well, I think because what I was going to say sort of links to that and links to what you were saying before, Matt, about there's a bit of a crossover here with the evils of capitalism are being used in a good way at the moment. With the sort of the thing is, there's like these huge companies that are able to put the money into doing these things are going, right, there is money out there. And what I was going to say is has been my sort of my win, as it were, my little personal win, is that finally there has been a game released targeted at 40-year-old women. And that is, of course, Disney's Dreamlight Valley, which is entirely aimed. I am the key demographic for that game. The plot of it, I know, Jem, you've played a bit of it. I don't know if you guys have talked about it much, but it is the plot of it is about an adult And in all the video and promos, it's always the woman. You can make your avatar a man, but it's always a woman. An adult who has forgotten about the Disney wonders of their childhood and is recovering this wonderful world because they've been lost in adulthood. It is entirely aimed at 40-year-old women. And that is brilliant. And I'm an absolute sucker for it. I absolutely love it. And yeah, again, it's the same. You slap Disney on it. Yes, I shall buy it. And it has all those features. But at the same time, we have to question the motives behind this. It's sort of, are Disney doing this because they really want to make older women feel like gaming is for them? I did a really quick Google search just there when we were talking about it, saying like games aimed at 40-year-old women, because I was like, yeah, they're doing it. And what I love is that I forgot to put video games, so I've now got a list of the best hobbies for women in their 40s, which involves bowling, volunteering, joining a book club, going to a wine tasting session, and playing
I'm up for that.
board games, not video games, but board games. Yeah, I know. Admittedly, these are all things I would quite like to do, but it's the fact that video games have never been seen as something for women, full stop. For older women, absolutely not. And so I was like, it's great, but they've run the numbers. They know that, unlike these Egypts on these Reddit threads, they know that there are a lot of women that play games. There are a lot of older women that play games. There are women with consoles, and they've gone, right, this is how we're going to make money. And damn straight they have. I mean, all the threads on Dreamlight Valley, like the first week it came out, were women going, well, I bought this for my child, but I'm now the one still playing it. She's completely lost interest, and I'm now playing it obsessively a week later. And it's the same with the accessibility. They know that it's like, right, if we can afford to have a team come in and do it, then we will get more people playing it. People will praise it. We will get more things for it. I really wish I could believe that there were some, what's the word? Not altruistic motives behind these things. But sadly, it is, as Matt explains very well about capitalism and the system behind it, it is just they know that it will make money. But I don't know if that makes it good or bad. Does that mean I shouldn't buy Disney's Dreamlight Valley? I don't. Not going to happen. I haven't given them any more money since I bought it. I have earned every single bonus. I have not paid for any bonuses, I'd just like to point out. But thank you. I think that even if the reasons behind these things happening aren't always altruistic, if it filters through and improves the gaming industry overall, yay, win. And I think, again, it's that independent game developers seeing, right, well, this is what we can do and we can make money off it as well if it works on a big scale. So hopefully it filters down.
Another thing about when we talked about this a lot with the Harry Potter game, in the should you or should you not buy it, how should you feel if you do buy it, how should you buy it, to go that it doesn't matter to Disney whatever you do, because it doesn't matter, because they're going to make hundreds of millions of dollars anyway. So on that side of things, that's not too much to bother. You can sort of just resign yourself to, they've won. It's just free money at this stage.
I don't know, but I always remember the John Cleese used to do. Not that I'm citing John Cleese, but he did. He in the 1980s, he was the face of the Liberal Democrats, and he used to do a party political broadcast for the Liberal Democrats in the late 80s, early 90s, and he would always say, if everybody who said they'd vote Liberal Democrat if they thought they could win voted Liberal Democrat, they could win. And that's the kind of idea behind it, is that if everybody who said, well, I don't think it's right to use Amazon, but I'm going to anyway because me not using it doesn't make a difference, didn't use Amazon, it would make a difference. But it's that, how do you motivate it on that scale? But yeah, sorry, Matt, interrupted you.
There's also that I've been triggered by the ruling class a lot at the minute. I've been watching. Anyone of you watch Sharp?
No.
Sean Bean.
I was going to say, what, as in the 80s Sean Bean show?
Yeah.
Many years ago.
That's awesome. I've been watching that again, and you've got Sean Bean, working class hero, and then the ordinary working class soldier, and then you've got the ruling class fop British officer scum tossers, and they're exactly the same people that we have leading us today. And they're like, come on, guys, if you all say we're going to take this fort, then we could take this fort. And you sit there watching them and going, what's the worst thing that could happen to you if you don't win this? And, you're going to just go back and spend the rest of your life in fabulous wealth and comfort and luxury anyway. So people like John Cleese, it doesn't matter to them at all. It's them going, look, all you peasants, if you all did what you said you were going to do, then you'd win. And it's just, that's one thing. Yeah, I think that's everything I had to say.
I have quite a lot to say about the whole idea of class and the ruling classes, and how in Britain we're just so obsessed with it, and it's extremely problematic, and the ridiculous and downright irresponsible behaviour of our current government, and all the shenanigans they've been up to this week with he who shall not be named. But I'm not going to say about all of that, because that's a different story. So instead, I'm going to ask everyone what their genie wish would be for a brighter future within the games world, whether it's a different game or a change in the industry, or whatever. You have one wish from your genie. Make sure you word it well.
Oh no, now I'm scared.
I do actually have a little lamp, but I don't have it here, unfortunately.
Well, because I was going to say, I read a very good article, I believe it was in Vice, sadly, about 2 months ago, and Matt, you sort of were talking about voiceover artists, as about the graphics artists and the horrific conditions they're working under and the pressures they're working under, and the fact that, again, they are being used as cheap labour, but if you want to stay in it, people are working sort of 20-hour days, sort of almost sort of slave labour type conditions, sleeping under their desks and being told, well, the second you're out, you can go. And that one really shocked me, and I think definitely it's the improving, making sure that the games industry is an ethical work, like how we buy fair trade clothes now, or it should be, and stuff and things, and making sure you're getting your clothes through an ethical source. I would like to know I'm getting my games from an ethical source. So my genie wish is that there would be more ethical gaming industry companies to buy from.
That's excellent. I'd not thought of that, but that is a really, really, like we have like Rugmark, don't we? And like you say, all sorts of different food related ethical guidelines, and I think because the games industry is worth so much money, there's no reason why they can't pay their staff properly and treat their staff properly. And we will be talking about AI in a future episode, and I think that is one of the things that AI is going to have a massive impact on, is both voice acting and the arts and graphic side of things. So it's going to be a bumpy few decades, I think, for people in that particular industry. I think it'd be interesting to see how that pans out. So who's got another wish?
My genie wish is...
You can.
It's just because mine is directly related to Caroline's.
Mine's technically as well, but I'm sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There you can go.
Okay. So getting that workplace is never going to come from the top down, because they're the ones that benefit from squeezing the people. And the problem is that with everything, there has never been more demand for visual effects companies, and there just aren't enough qualified people to do it, so they're just getting squeezed and squeezed. The answer to all of it is, I wish that every workplace and different discipline in the games industry needs to unionize. There should be a massive global game development union for every single discipline. They should be encouraged. The things that the top can do is to encourage the unionization effort, because it'll make their product better. It'll be better overall, rather than just going, I want all the money, as much money as I can stuff into my now. So unions make workplaces better for the people. They make it better for the owners. It makes the products better. It makes everything better. And that's what I hope will happen.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think mine, again, is tied into what Caroline and Matt have said, in that I want the pressure and the crunch for game devs and game makers to go away, for them to have like a lot less pressure and have more ethical, better, healthier, more exciting places to work that don't feel like a crunch. And in turn, having seen the effect that crunch has on games being released by a certain deadline and then them coming out and not being ready to be released, I want to see less hate and pile-ons on social media when games are released in conditions that aren't best for them because of this pressure and crunch and pressure to release like too quickly. It's kind of all tied in together. But yeah, because there's just so much negativity on social media and pile-ons, and a lot of it feels very masculine. I'm not saying it all comes from men, but it's that kind of horrible, negative, almost incel-like vibes about it, where they're just like, oh, well, you've all seen it, and it's just not what we want. So less of that. But a way to make that work would be to have a lot less pressure on people making the games, and just better working conditions and better places generally. I think that is mine.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting. And as you say, all of your wishes are very connected. And I was thinking it just made me have in mind the producers of or the company that made Stray, the cat game, which is an awesome game, and my daughter played it from start to finish, which is extremely rare for her, and loved it, and even cried while playing it, because it was just the story was so involved. And it's Blue 12 Studios, and they actually delayed the launch of their game because they said they wanted their staff to have a break, because there was too much pressure on everyone, and they didn't want them to be placed under more pressure than they needed to be. But they still wanted to do a really, really good game, and they wanted it to be ready when it launched. So companies are doing that, but they tend to be the smaller, more sort of early days ones, where perhaps they don't have the same level of pressure, and perhaps they've gone into that industry with sort of, as a labour of love. So they might have more space in that. What we really need the big organisations to do it. And I think you're absolutely right. I think, the only way that's going to happen is if they unionise, and then the unions can support better working setup and working rights, and then and the way that the buyers can support that is if we knew which were the good guys and which are the bad guys, which are the companies that are looking after their teams. And so my genie wish is that more people listen to our podcast, about all of this stuff, and we're talking to both gamers and game designers when we discuss this. And we don't have massive industry experience, but we do have a love of games and our own sort of personal experience of playing them and thinking about them and existing in this world, and therefore, what we have to say on this is quite relevant actually, and quite important. And so I would like more people to listen to our podcast, and more people to think about these things and to engage with these things, so that we can have all of what we've wished for today can come true.
Nice.
No, I'm going to say call it a day, unless anyone has got anything burningly important that they'd like to share. No.
Very quickly. I forgot to mention earlier another win from The Last of Us TV show. 2 hairy, middle-aged gay guys having an hour and a half episode about their beautiful life together, and then the bit that nearly made me cry at the end was they were going to get married. That is that's the boldest display of LGBT life that I've ever seen, especially on such a massive, it's supposed to be a zombie show, and that was that. And then the fair trade, having a fair trade for game designers, that's a perilously awesome idea. I can't believe that isn't a thing, because that would be a massive big deal to have that. So holy shit, yeah, awesome.
No, this is all good. Right, so I'm going to call it, I think. And thank you very much, Caroline, for joining us again.
Lovely to be here.
It's been lovely to have a fourth person here. And we're at AnimeCon in Cardiff, and I still haven't got the date.
September the 9th.
There we go.
It's
I knew it was
September the 9th, and September the 10th, the Cardiff Anime and Gaming Con.
Yeah, so we'll be doing a panel there. So if you fancy popping along and seeing us, then that would be awesome. And we have a Patreon, so feel free to go over there and check that out. And all the links and things will be in the show notes. So yeah, thank you very much for listening, and we will be back on most Thursdays. I think we're taking July off, aren't we?
Yeah, for a little
bit. So we might not have anything coming out over July, but we are here till the end of June, and then we will be back with you in August. Okay, so thank you very much. Until next time.
We hope you enjoyed that episode of Gaming the System. If you want to support us, you can donate to us through our PayPal by sending it to wearegamingthesystem@gmail.com if you want to send us a one-off donation. If you want to donate to us monthly, you can subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/gamingthesystem. Until next time, bye-bye.